Hello, my name is Sarah. I'm a small artist and I'm definitely not wearing a wig right now. This is Justice for Artists. I had thought about making this video for a little while, but then I saw this post on Instagram that James Blake posted, and it really just reminded me how real this situation was. It showed me how large scale it was. Now, when it comes to booking, there are two different categories that I've divided agents into. There's the community-based, community-oriented agent, and then there's the middleman. Now there's a huge system, there's a big hierarchy when it comes to just the world of booking. There's so much that happens behind the scenes of all your favorite concerts. So I want to start by taking a brief overview of some responses that I got from the survey that I gave to former clients as a booking agent to delineate what their experience being a musician is like. So here are a few quick statistics from that I think would be important for this video. A general average duration of the writing process behind one song, and the general consensus was that it takes months to years. The approximate sum total cost of foundational equipment were generally $7,000 or higher. Average hours of practice per week, 5. It's important to note that this slow growing process isn't just unique to musicians, it's to art fields in general. And I mean, even beyond that, it extends to other industries as well. Any business looking to grow has their own version of this model. So it takes endless hours of carefully marketed talent to prepare their art for self-growth. When I was doing freelance booking, bands could choose to come to me to make their lives easier. They had the option to set up shows for themselves by themselves. I was just a hub of connections between bands and musicians, venues, vendors, promoters, photographers, audience members, all those people involved in a show's community. I provided a service to musicians, vendors, and venues by bringing them exposure and business, and also doing so for myself in my small business. I provided content for promoters and photographers, and I provided a safe and fun environment for audience members to enjoy. I prioritized the success and payment of my clients, and I did not gatekeep or monopolize off of anyone. In one of the interviews of my recent Spotify video, a lead singer discusses a gatekeeping scheme.
We have a lot more third-party booking agencies that are really gatekeeping a lot of our local venues now, and so now it's just making it harder for us to jump on shows and stuff like that. So
here's the difference between my role and work ethic versus theirs. Imagine the heart in the middle as a community-oriented booking agent. This flower represents the community for one show. We have vendors, bands and musicians, venue, audience members, promoters, and photographers. Every relationship in this dynamic is a mutualistic exchange. The booking agent provides a gig and exposure to the bands and musicians. The bands and musicians put on a show to help make the booking agent's idea a reality. Building up connections between booking agents and venues is good for future shows being booked. Both of them now have contact information and an idea of what one of the other one's shows are like. You establish standards when it comes to cleanliness and safety and the execution of the event. The agent provides a fun event for audience members to attend. The audience members support the booking agent when they attend those events. Promoters help spread the word about the events that the agent set up. The agent provides them with something to promote. Agents have documentation of their events through photographers, and photographers get to attend cool events to take pictures at. With vendors, booking agents help bring business to them, while the vendors also do the same. They both have their own audience that they're bringing to the other one. This connects all of the members into one collective show community. Now on to the middleman. Say they're gatekeeping a band or musician. They decide to be their booking agent and say if anybody wants to book them, they have to go through me. This disrupts the community process in several places. In fact, anywhere where a band or musician is linked to another person or group. This blockade obstructs the entire community. It affects the accessibility of every member to the other because of its restrictions. Sometimes this is done with venues also. There will be a booking person who takes a certain booking fee if you want to book with the venue that they are partnered with. Now we're gonna zoom out some more. So far, we've talked about the process behind one singular show. Each member of these community flowers serves their role in other shows as well. A venue doesn't stop being a venue once the show ends. They have to prepare for more shows. Accompanying. Why can I not say that word? They'll have a new set of accompanying parties. The bands don't stop being bands once the lights go out. They have to prepare for more shows. We saw in the survey overview some of the work that goes into the behind the scenes of making music. And that video, if you want to go a little bit more in depth, I recommend watching that video. Vendors don't limit their business to exclusively one show. They have to vend at other shows. They have to work on their artwork, their products behind the scenes. Photographers and audience members have more shows to go to. Promoters have more shows that they need to promote. So with these group components serving as the foundation for one show, with other shows, they're then replicated to make this elaborate net. Collaborative projects help share audiences between all of the collaborators, so it helps raise the success rate of events. Now we're gonna add in third-party ticket selling companies. They provide another valuable service by distributing means of admission in a way that's convenient for everyone. A successful middleman mentality can seep into monopolizing off of small artists to exploit them for selfish gain, and then climb to the level to being the only way you can receive tickets for this show. If they've wrangled up a prestigious collection of domain, audience members will seek out those tickets more eagerly because of the access that they'll gain to a unique experience. When this happens, the easy flow of community support becomes obstructed, with blockades between parties. This point starts to treat musicians and vendors as show monkeys, more so than artists who need to be appreciated for what they're doing and all the time that they're putting in. Now, in the business world, artistic talent and creativity are no longer at the forefront of the craft. Instead, they exploit artists in order to exploit concert goers and collect a vast chunk of revenue. Oftentimes, media will bring in pretty faces as blank canvases for the way they want to control the money of the masses.
For years, it was actually common and well known that pop stars, in fact, did not write their own songs. Rihanna? Nope. She didn't write her songs. Usher? Nope. He didn't write most of his songs. Britney Spears? Jason Aldean? Celine Dion? Whitney Houston? Frank Sinatra? Elvis Presley didn't write his own song.
Now, a lot of people are not gonna like this one, but the first example of this that I think of is Taylor Swift. She's a pretty face with a trained voice who seems to never mess up in the media. The music is generic, as it is made to be relatable, simple, and catchy enough to be remembered by the public ear. Instrumentalists and dancers are used at disposal, often being underpaid for their contributions despite the entire show being a profit scheme. There's a shadow industry that has her on puppet strings. She owes her fame to them. Cutting any of those strings would risk that. At this point, she is a tool of revenue, vacant of original ideas. James Blake is a musician who I really value the art of. He seems to be a rare success story of a true creative, beating the odds of brutal commercialism. Aside from what Joe mentioned in my interview in the Spotify video, one of the reasons that inspired me to make this video was a series of posts by James Blake regarding his frustration with the music industry. Let's break down the slides of this Instagram post made by James Blake.
If you're a fan and you want to see me perform, please sign up for free at the link in bio, because otherwise you might never hear about any of my shows. I'm not going through the monopolies anymore. I'm not having my fans and myself be ripped off by people who don't care the way we do about live music. They own all of our mailing lists and won't let us use them to reach our fans. And now this app is restricting all my posts about shows. I don't have any other way of letting you know. Are any of you actually seeing these posts about shows I'm putting on? I'm seeing crazy bottlenecking. 3,000 views on a story when I have 691,000 followers. Grid posts reaching hardly anyone? Why can't I promote a show to people who follow me? How else am I supposed to let people know I'm playing?
Blake expresses his discomfort and frustration with the monopolizing of the music industry. He informs fans that it has negatively impacted his music career and the privacy of his fans. Prevention of promotion is serious repression to an artist who succeeds off of publicity. The censorship of this prevents James Blake from competing with any of the written and choreographed faces of the music industry. It's not designed in a way to help small artists grow. And trying to compete with these empty slate celebrity faces, I'm not dissing the person who has the celebrity face. I am dissing the people who painted that on.
That's why all of these upcoming piano shows are on a new platform I'm working with, B-Side. Every show I've ever done for 13 years, a company has taken the data, i.e. email addresses/phone numbers, of my fans. I didn't know how important that was at the time. My Instagram was reaching more people than it does now because of algorithm bottlenecking. And in the meantime, those companies have built huge piles of data to be able to market other shows or anything else to our fans. And all the musicians who weren't savvy to know what's going on are now struggling to get the word out about their shows or records. B-Side gives that data to the musicians so they can reach their fans.
Now, the concept of data being stolen is no stranger to the world. I mentioned that concept some in my AI video, actually. Here we can see one of these specific, deceitful techniques being utilized to target you.
I refuse to subject my fans to the ridiculous amounts of unexplainable hidden fees they have to pay to come see me live. It's not just the ones you see at checkout. There are more than we even know about, buried in countless deals we artists never see, padding out the bill you pay and making touring too expensive for upcoming artists. I'm sick of the control over every single aspect of the live experience, meaning that means everyone who actually works on the show can be squeezed until a career in live music, being a rigger, tech, sound, lighting, producer, tour manager, all of the amazing people who make it possible for us to be in a room together playing live music safely, is harder and harder to justify as a career path.
I like that he clarifies there are deals being made on his behalf without him knowing. Well-dressed scams will make you believe you're giving directly to the star, feeding into their marketing scheme as a way of doing so. So many people are profiting as that list of contending patrons goes up. Or I guess if it's more names, it kind of goes down. But like the number. He says that this model is making touring too expensive for upcoming artists. This is something that I have a lot of experience with because I worked with upcoming artists and I helped them schedule tours. It's not very easy at that level. On top of expenses, okay. I mean, again, it's not like these artists are making any money anyways from what they're doing. They put money into equipment, they put time into it, and what do they get from it? A video of them playing. That's just so frustrating. Now, music isn't nearly as profitable at this early stage. Generally, I didn't have to deal with as bad of exploitation as what James Blake is describing, which makes sense because he's on a much bigger scale of artist. As far as his fame, his establishment, love that guy. However, I didn't see that exploitation so much at the hand of my clients struggling to succeed already. And then they gotta make it harder? Come on. They already, streaming services already take all of the money away from artists. Artists do not get paid as much as they should on streaming services. This is another thing I addressed in my Spotify video, but you know when I start talking this fast with no cuts, I'm passionate about something, okay?
For so long, artists and fans have been kept in separate rooms and prevented from talking to each other about how bad it's been getting. I want to be in the same room as you, figuratively and literally. And while they kept us in different rooms, they were robbing you and robbing the artists. I know huge artists who've been on tour for 2 years and made a loss on touring. They have to rely on branding deals or literally anything else to keep going. And that's super established artists. How the hell is a new band supposed to afford to tour? Have you noticed there aren't as many bands around, by the way?
He addresses the confidentiality with which this is treated, to the extent of keeping musicians and fans so separate between a media-screened, choreographed facade. I kind of really like the word facade. Facade. I mean, not that it's like a good thing, but like it's a pretty word.
When streaming decimated artists' income from music, we all said, oh, I guess we've still got live music. That's how we'll sustain ourselves and give the music away virtually free to promote the shows. Well, now a different set of vampires has done it with the live music as well. And with this, the fans suffer even more. When somebody asked me how to get a career in music, my answer cannot be become a content creator and sell products. I refuse. To all artists out there, the humble mailing list is your way out of this. I love you.
Unfortunately, this option isn't practical for somebody small who is trying to build up an audience still. You have to be a little bit established in order for people to be dedicated enough to join this new platform. I hope I did a good job at explaining the behind the scenes of live music. I call this the green room trope. If you don't know, the green room is the room where musicians or artists hang out when they are not the ones on stage. It was originally called the green room because Shakespeare had the first one for his actors to hang out when they weren't on stage. This room was painted completely green. Green room. Most green rooms are not green nowadays, but they're still called the green room. Thank you for watching, and as always, remember to hit the sub bubble that is daunting you under this video. Ooh. Help me feed my family, and by my family I mean me and my 2 cats. That's all. Anyways, like the video. Okay, bye.